So the subject for today is gonna be how do we deal with plateaus? And the reason I want to bring this up because this is something that really can demotivate people, including myself. And even if I have a lot of knowledge about it, I still sometimes get demotivated and need to remind myself about these key points that I need to look over and see, am I lacking any of this? And if I say yes to any of those things that I'm gonna mention, I gotta change it, and most often that fixes the problem. But first off, what is a plateau? It's literally where we've been training and we've been doing the things in the gym, so we should progress, but we're not getting any results. That is what I mean. So you're doing a lot of training, but your weights aren't increasing, your reps aren't increasing, your stamina isn't increasing, no results is shown in that area, or maybe it's a little bit of results, but not like proportional to how much effort you're actually putting in. So that's what I want to talk about. First off, if it's short term, and short term is in the sense of 1 month, roughly, the most common thing here is if you're not getting progress within 1 month, it's due to overtraining or not getting enough recovery. So what you can try out here is add a deload week and then see if the results are going to be shown. It's something that I fall into place in, like a lot of times this is the case for me. Like I measure progress daily, and some days are just really shit, and if you have it throughout a longer period of time, it's most often because I train really hard but don't give my body enough time to recover. So having a deload week can actually boost your progress. So you've been training for a long time, you're not seeing any results, then you get enough rest and boom, everything is shown. So that's what I recommend for 1 month plateaus where nothing is happening. But let's say that's not the case. Maybe it's been going longer for that. We're talking maybe 2 months. At that point, something should happen. Then there's a lot of key factors that can be wrong. I'm gonna start off with the basic ones and then we move on to things that aren't as common. First off, we have sleep recovery. And the sleep, of course, is you get your good sleep. It's not waking up, it's your mind actually getting recovered, and also your body. So your muscles are recovered, but also mentally you're recovered. Because that's one thing, it's like how well is your body recovered when it comes to muscle strength, but also how tired are you during your workout. Sleep doesn't only affect if you're fully recovered. You can have a long time of resting, then you have really shit sleep, and your performance in the gym is mainly due to your lack of energy and that spirit. Not that your muscles aren't fully recovered, it's your energy level. So that's why sleep is sort of a double factor. Then the other thing is with foods. Maybe you've been destroying your training in the gym. Your structure there is solid, like it's good, but your diet isn't contributing, or it's not living up to the potential. So you're doing more in the gym than your diet can actually contribute with, which means that you're tearing your body down. So have a look there. Are you getting your protein, roughly 2 grams per body weight? And then your carbs as well. Is it your training? Do you feel like low energy during your training? Then have a look on your carbs and see, am I getting enough carbs? And if the case is that you're pretty low energized during your training, try bumping up it. Like add some pasta, add some rice, add some potatoes. Maybe actually add some rice cakes or something before training that is a bit like quicker carbs. Or some fruit especially, like apples, a great source for those quick energy before training. Try that out and see if it does a difference. Then the next thing is training structure. And this is where we're getting into the things that aren't as clear, like obvious. And that's that you might be training really hard in the gym, but the training isn't actually contributing that hard to your goals. One common mistake I see here is in the beginning, you're training too much strength and less hypertrophy, or like you're in really low reps. What this means is that you're always going to failure. It's happening pretty damn quick. Let's say you're doing weighted pull-ups, weighted dips. You're doing it to the degree where you can only do like 4 to 5 reps. It's gonna feel like you're destroying the body because of course, like it is heavy as fuck. But reality is that then the time and the tension, the hypertrophy, the stimulants for muscle growth isn't high. Like, it isn't that much. And even if you do this and you feel mentally like, damn, I did a great job, you haven't done that much. So what I suggest here is that if you're the one only doing these low reps, do that. It's great for strength building, but add some hypertrophy as well. Maybe start this session with a few like heavy stuff that you want to increase strength in, but add some hypertrophy in this as well in the end of the session to get that volume. This is also going to increase like muscle growth in the sense of mass volume, and that is usually a good motivator as well. And then it's going to contribute to your strength. So not only training on those low reps, because that is going to be harsh. The same is going to be the opposite. If you're training always too many reps and your goal is to gain pure strength, that is also a dilemma. Like, your work is not necessarily going to contribute to your results. And then if you measure your results in your pure strength, it's going to be hard. Then it's going to look like you're not getting a lot, which probably you aren't. Maybe you're increasing though in stamina, for example. So this can be if you're training always really high reps, 15 to 20 reps. Maybe you're just doing pull-ups without any additional weight, and you're coming to the stage where you're having progressive overload, but you're adding reps to a really high number already. So you're above the pure strength, you're above muscle mass building, so more towards endurance. And then this, of course, isn't necessarily going to contribute you to get really, really strong. It's gonna, like, you're gonna get really good in pull-ups, you're gonna get some significant strength as well, some mass, but it's not gonna be the most effective way. So if this is the case, then I suggest you adding some weight, drop down the repetitions, come down to like around 10 is a really good number to be around. If you're just slightly above, yeah, you're more towards hypertrophy. If you were to go down, yes, you're training more towards strength, and both of them are really good, and combining them is really a sweet spot. So that's what I recommend, have a look over. Then there can be other factors as well, which is related to sort of what I talked about in the beginning when it comes to overtraining. And also switching up the workout from time to time can be a good thing. Like, your body is, even if you to some degree adding your progressive overload, sometimes it is good with a switch up. Like, sometimes a plateau isn't necessarily gonna be like, yeah, it's only this thing. Like, most often in the beginning it's gonna be that case, but then to a degree where you gained a lot of experience about your body, you know how it handles, you know like what things is working and how do I actually add progressive overload to the things I'm doing. But then you're still not necessarily getting progress. And at that point, I really suggest just switch up the training. Do some new exercises. Try new variations. Like, put a different type of pressure on the body, on the nerve system, like something your body isn't used to. And that is gonna be a whole total new style of training. As a personal example, I had a plateau a while back where I was just not super motivated, but also not getting tons of progress. And what I did is that I did training on rings for a while, which is sending me back in progress a lot. Like, I couldn't do even close to the skills I was doing on parallettes, but I still gained so much strength from doing those easier progressions on rings, because it was just a new sort of stimulants for my body to train. Also motivating because it was something new, but mainly also my body, it was completely new connections and a different type of progressive overload, in the sense that I'm doing a new thing that my body isn't used to. And then that contributed to me gaining way more strength on parallettes as well, which at the end of the day is my main focus, because that's what I can use in competition. So what I want you to understand is that just because you switch your training doesn't mean you're not gonna get like strength towards your goal. So even if your goal is to maybe become a beast on the floor, maybe switch up to some parallettes, maybe switch up to some ring training, maybe add some more weighted reps. Even though you're training statics, add some like weights in the gym, do those things, like it is gonna contribute. So have that in mind. Sometimes it's really good to switch up. One thing I also did once, when it came to motivation, which is a major factor as well, I did some swimming once per week. It was last year. I just wasn't that motivated to train, and in general I also wanted to add some more cardio, and instead of just running, I did something I was really good in back in the days and I genuinely enjoy. Like, my body has a deep connection with swimming, so I added swimming once per week, switching up the training. That's the common theme here, and it helped a lot. Motivation, but also got some more cardio in, and I did feel way better. Like, I genuinely got stronger. Then sometimes maybe it's some placebo effect as well. Just because you feel good about what you're doing, then it might not actually have an effect. But the reality is that it doesn't matter what the reason is if it's working. So just know that. And then we have a final thing here, is that if you're sticking to a schedule that someone has created for you, or you have listened to a lot of videos, maybe including myself, you've been listening to my vlogs and seeing some exercises I do, you add it in your training, you do it for a while and nothing happens, then have this in mind that all exercises are not gonna be beneficial for everyone. Like, that is a thing. I would never say this is the best exercise for planche, this is the best. Like, it is different depending on who you are. So know that if you're not feeling good about an exercise, even though a lot of people tell you this is really good, switch it up to something that you do feel connection with, that you do feel results with, because at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. Trial and error. You try things, if it works, you keep it. If it doesn't work, you move on. You move it to the side. Maybe you try it out on a later stage in your career, but go on. So don't stick to something just because it should be good. Like, look at the statistic fact. Is it working for you or not? And if the answer is no, you know what to do. Move on until you find something that works. So the sidetrack here is that I get so many questions about like diet and training structure from people that are getting tons of results. And your focus shouldn't be on, like, you should focus on those things when you're not getting progress. Like, yes, we can maximize the results to some degree, but if you're getting good results, just keep your routines. Keep the things you're doing right now until you see that the momentum is starting to decline. And at that point, you can find those spots that, like, okay, this is where I'm lacking and I need to improve my diet, or this is my training structure that's wrong. But if things are working, don't start mixing with other factors, because it might negatively affect you. Like, if it's working, like, fucking go for it. Like, you're in a great position to actually progress, and then use that as long as it works. And then when it doesn't, you spend your time of finding which factors am I lacking and improving those, and then the general training is most likely going to improve again. And then you stick with that for a while until it doesn't work, and you move on. So that is sort of the baseline. I hope this gave you guys a broader overview, because it's things that I've learned over the many years of training, but still from time to time need to remind myself. Like, I can get mad on myself, like, fuck, I should be getting results. And then I remember, oh, I haven't had a deload in a long time. Or shit, I've been sticking with the same weights now for 3-4 weeks without any progressive overload. I'm like, of course I'm not progressing. I'm not putting any additional strain. Or like, damn, I've been doing this exercise the same for like the past year now. I most likely should switch it up. Like, I know people think it's a good one, but damn, it's not working for me, so I might just change. All of those things I need to remind myself, but I'm telling you this now so that you can already now remind yourself and have something to fall back on if you're lacking progress. Just see if any of these factors is something that you can adjust. Now, over to today's training. The plan is a front lever session in the gym I was in last time. I'm gonna bring a dip bar. Actually, I'm not gonna do it on the static bar. I'm gonna bring a dip bar today and just see if I can perform everything there. It should be pretty good. But even though they said I could bring any equipment I wanted, I feel like a dip bar takes up less space. And then if I have 2 of them as well, I can put them together and we can do some other fun stuff with them as well. So, good split. But I will see you guys in the gym. So on the handstand I'm about to show, the audio just got fucked. So just enjoy the hold, and then we're moving on to some front lever training. But I might add some more handstand from time to time, so enjoy this one. The one-arm was alright, but the flag, pretty damn solid. Front lever touch. One thing to have in mind though is that this bar is slightly thicker than the static bar, which do mean that the range of motion I need to pull in order to actually be in a touch is slightly reduced. So it should be easier, just have that in consideration. But this is the one I'm gonna train on for a long time ahead, or at least 3 months, which then in the end of the day it's not gonna matter too much. It's not crazy thick either. You have the bars on competition, those P-bars is 5 diameters in thickness, and those ones, that's a big difference. It's way easier to do front lever touch, especially if you train on a thin bar and then you actually perform on the thicker one. It's day and night. Let's see if we can have this 7 seconds, 3 sets. Slight drop towards the end, but not too bad. First set, never the best, which means that the second one most likely a bit better at least. Oh, literally shaking because I'm using more power than I have. I think that was better. I also, in front lever, I don't know if I want to do pointed toes or straight. I do think straight, like the toes pointing to the sky, is cleaner in my opinion than having them pointed. But for planche, it's a bit different. I think pointed is nice to some degree, but also straight as well. It's a sort of style to it. Either way, better hold than the first one, but shaking as fuck. It's crazy with skill training. You have the level of energy and like hits you so hard. It's like you can hold it. It feels really good. It feels like, yeah, this is a position I can be in for a while, and then it just hits you. And that barrier comes for like 4 seconds. Let's move on. Front lever pull-ups. We do have the same band as usual, maybe slightly higher up the bar, so I will get a bit more help. But otherwise, 4 front lever pull-ups, then just a solid max hold in front lever. I also noticed on my top front lever holds that my problem, one of them, is that I'm not flexing my legs enough. There's a slight bend, so it looks a bit weird. So that's something I need to focus on a bit more, just really stretching those legs and they're actually being straight, because otherwise my knee is gonna be pointed a bit upwards. It looks a bit weird. I don't think, it's slightly hard of course because the leverage will be a bit further away, but it's not that much. I think it's more about me just actually putting the focus there. Not too bad. The band was hitting the bar though, so I had a bit wrong of angle. Here, probably better. Definitely better. Try to focus on the straight legs, but it's harsh. Like when I try to do it, it feels just like I'm pointing the toes. It is helping though to make the straight line, but just that small connection when you're actually just tightening the whole body, it's hard to target. Coordination at its finest. Not too bad. Next up we got the retraction races. I'll do it 9 kg, but I want to show you like how long my range of motion is without any weight, because it's pretty interesting. Like I'm really unflexible in this position. So if I don't have any weight, this is the max I can go. I don't know where I go with weights, but you guys will know now. So even if it looks like I'm only coming to about a straight line with the body, like I can't go further. It's shit. But either way, like the retraction is getting a lot of strength and it's great for the front lever as well. Brutal. Let's do one more. I also checked the footage just to actually see the range of motion, and of course I can do further without any weight, but with weights it's not that far away. And the most important thing is I do get to the sort of horizontal part with the floor, because that's where I would be in a Victorian, so I gain a lot of muscle connection and strength for it. And then in front lever as well, like the further up the better it's gonna be, but also at the 90 degree, that's where I have the most pressure or load put on me. Whereas if I'm here, even if the weights are really high, this angle is gonna reduce the leverage of the weight, making it easier as well. So the minute is to get up there, and that's pretty much what I got. Crazy. That's it, then we got the chin-ups. Not too bad. All right, 40 kg chin-ups. It's probably soon time to increase this number. For the pull-ups, I did increase the reps to 9. So let's start off with the same procedure for chin-ups. If we can do 9 today for at least 2 after 3 sets, that's a good jump. And then as we probably can do 9 on all of them, we might bump up the weight, reduce the reps. Nine pretty good reps. And the thing also with my weighted stuff is that I do want to build more towards pure strength than just the hypertrophy part and a lot of reps. So if I do come up to 9-10 reps, I prefer increasing the weight, training more towards strength, but reducing the amount of reps. So I just don't go on, and it literally becomes more towards the endurance and sort of mass building, which is not really what I want. I also want to remind you all about the Calisthenics Masterclass that is 100% free, that there is tons of value. Like, it would be really hard to find someone that would not benefit from being there, because it's everything from reps, it's everything from dieting, from scheduling, from learning skills, progressions. It's literally everything. So the things you see here, it's one thing that I talk about, my car talks, that's knowledge, but then you have that literally on like steroids in there, built into different classrooms, super easy to follow, and it's a vibe. Then of course now we're also 500 people in there, so whenever someone asks something, there's a lot of other people giving tips, feedback as well, so you just get so many perspectives. So even if you're not interested in just pure facts, maybe you just want to be there, provide for others, or I guarantee you that if you ask something, you're gonna get some sort of perspective that you haven't seen before. So check it out. The link should be somewhere here. If I point it right. Always wrong, so in one of these corners, you got it. Let's end it. The last set. Hoping for 9. If that's the case, next time we're moving up to probably like, might try 50 kg, because as I mentioned in previous videos, I'm really strong in the low rep. At that point, it doesn't really matter which weight I'm on, but as soon as I go over about like 6 reps, my stamina just hits hard. So it might be doable with 50 kg and still have good form, but fewer reps, of course. Nine clean ones, the 10th one was just a bonus. You know, I remember how you become sort of a local figure when you train in a gym. There's a lot of people. That's something I've missed a lot. Like today's session was a bit longer, but that was also because I talk with a lot of people that are interested in calisthenics. Because trust me, like, it doesn't really matter which gym you are at. There's always gonna be some people that are like, they are interested in handstand, they are interested in front lever, they have seen it, they want to train it, just don't really know where to start or get into it. And that happened today, for example, and I just really feel like I meant to give that help. Like, yeah, it might take an extra time from my training. I see it as some extra rest, so for me it's not really that harsh, or it doesn't bother me too much, but I do get a lot from it. Like, I feel like I create sort of a more local purpose as well. Just give these small tips, get people to start, because they do want it, but they just can't. There's no one around them doing it, so they don't really know what to train. They can't see someone do an exercise that is performing the sport. So if they don't have anything, then it's really hard to start. But if they see me, if I can give some small tips, just get them started, that's a fundamental thing that's just gonna help them a lot. So therefore my sessions now are taking slightly longer, but I do really enjoy it, and I get really happy by seeing the sport grow, and therefore for me to give, like, I get more than I actually give, even though it may not seem like it. Either way, this was a pretty good session. Tomorrow I'm gonna help my sister move. So she's switching to another apartment, which means that I will be just moving the day. And I might actually consider training in the morning, because then I don't have any stress with times or stuff like that. And I do prefer actually training in the morning than really late at night, especially on Saturdays, since we're gonna do a freestyle the day after. And freestyle I prioritize pretty high now, considering the weather is really shit most of the times, so we can't always train. So when I do have the potential, I wanna be fully energized. So I will see you guys tomorrow morning, or high chance of it at least. It is morning. Just as I told you guys yesterday, I'm going to help my sister today, which means that I'm in need of training in the morning, otherwise it's gonna be like super late, and then it's gonna fuck it up for the sesh after tomorrow. And morning, it's not really my thing, so it's gonna be interesting to see. Of course now it's not super early, but I had some friends over yesterday, so not crazy amount of sleep either, but good photo. So energy when it comes to carbs is there, but the sleep, maybe not. And I'm on, to some degree, a short schedule, like 1 hour. Usually I do train about 1 hour and 45 minutes, so it's gonna be like really quick. And it's only now in the sort of start that I'm gonna talk a bit, and then the rest of the sets are most likely just gonna like pop. So it's gonna be effective and hopefully good sets as well, not just fast. Let's start off. Supinated Maltese, or pronated Maltese. Oh, yeah, extremely bad. Really felt the thumb on this one though. Not good. Not good. Let's give it one more shot with this band, and if the next one is shit as well, we take one thicker. I'm not gonna give up on morning workouts though. Let's do one more. Holy fuck. It's literally the thumbs today. Crazy. Let's switch it up directly to just thicker band. I almost rather do this grip. What the fuck? Like I literally can't even lean. It's like the thumbs are so damn sore. Trust me, it's the fucking mornings. Because even if I feel powerful, like this part doesn't feel sore at all. It's literally just the pressure on the thumbs. That is crazy. You know what? Let's just move on. Supinated full planche hold. Today was not meant to be a crazy workout either way, and we do what we can. And Maltese is not one of them. Let's fucking hope this one is better. Otherwise, I'm gonna get a bit frustrated. It's not as bad as the Maltese, but definitely not the best one I've done. But at least I can do it. So let's do 2 more sets. Yeah, I know, the hip was extremely high up on the last set. So let's see if we can get at least some hip activation. The PPT. I think I'm gonna lean into it and then press up so I know I have it from the start. Because if I just jump up into it, it's slightly harder to adjust. Fuck mornings. I'm gonna say like 10 times this training. Ooh, you should not go out of routines. Today I didn't have a choice, but stick to the training routines. Time schedule, length of the workouts, all of those things. Because the body gets super used to it. Like it hasn't trained in the morning for so long, so of course it's not gonna like be prepared for it. Even if I feel relatively strong, I just feel like my joints and everything is so stiff. I did warm up like always, but it's just not the same. Last set, then moving on to some weights. It's the best I can do today, but it's bad. It's really bad. Anyway, pronated raise sets is up next. I'm gonna stick with 15 kg, even though it's the same as last session, and pretty much haven't done really progressive overload in that one in at least 1.5 weeks roughly or something. So I could jump up, but today is not the day. So I'm gonna save it for the next workout because today is literally just about surviving. Fucking 8 reps as well. Insane. It's funny how I talked about plateaus in the beginning of this training session, or last training session. And today is just like this big decrease in progress. But it's literally just due to the energy level, circumstances regarding sleep, and which time am I training. So I measure progress every day. Tomorrow or in 2 days, that's the next static session. Most likely gonna be back on track if I get my sleep right and don't train in the morning. That's good. Last set. I have 20 minutes to do the weighted dips afterwards, so we're on schedule. My resting in between sets slightly lower, but then again my intensity now as well is lower than usual. I'm satisfied. It's good enough. Let's just settle the 8. Keep it safe. Rather that than to be sorry for fucking something up. This is gonna be interesting. Are my dips gonna be affected? I'm gonna try with 90 first. Not 9 reps probably, but like 7, 8 reps I would still be happy with. But let's see. Or maybe I'm just way too fatigued or tired to even pull that off. And then we just decrease the weight. Pretty fucking good. Could probably done 9, but I'm gonna keep it with 8, 8, 8. Just to keep the consistency. And since I know my body is just not 100% today, it's better to keep it on a lower side. And yes, before you start hating, I am gonna switch up to a rope. It's just that I have it in my like home. So not in the apartment right now, and I haven't been home yet. I'm gonna get it this weekend. Pretty damn good. Quick and good depth on that as well. Full range of motion. Fuck, I'm getting gassed out. But that was 8 reps though, so we got it. 8, 8, 8. Pretty good way to end a shitty session. That is gonna be a wrap. I'm sorry if today's session was a bit lower on energy. Reality is like, I really hate those sessions. And especially when I record, I always try to keep my mood a bit higher. And on days like this, it's really harsh. Because your emotions, like, you're used to having pretty decent workouts, and then you have these ones. Of course, I didn't expect it to be good one. But then again, even though you know it, when it actually happens, it's just really shit. But we're gonna be back. And I might record tomorrow's freestyle session. It depends on how many people are coming and how the weather circumstances are. But I'm definitely gonna bring my camera either way. And then if everything is right, I'll record some there, get some montage, probably some more just static combos in general, see where my progress is at. And I'm gonna guarantee to get a good night's sleep today, so the workout isn't like this one. But with that being said, hit like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Choo-choo!